You're saying approaching the table as white people here, black people here. You're assuming white people are here. White people are here.
Look at the statistics.
No, white people are here.
This is a statistical
White people are here. There's
okay,
white people
that are
here,
then we're here.
No.
Here, then we're here. This is a statistical reality.
With you,
like, what are you talking
just
about?
get for you specifically. There are white people that are not as successful as you.
Yes, right. So people don't sell drugs where he lives because
they do sell drugs.
Because
they do sell drugs. They do sell drugs.
Okay, but are people being arrested?
No,
hold on. So are people being arrested for the drugs in your neighborhood?
Not that I'm.
He don't know. He's not a cop. So how we know?
So people are selling drugs here and they're being arrested.
Let me explain.
People are selling drugs here and they're not.
Let me explain.
And you're saying that this is equal.
No. Let me explain.
Man, I'm out of here. I gotta get to class. Y'all have a.
Hey my love, so you're welcome back to my channel. It's your girl BB Harry Froze, and I'm back again for another reaction video. So I bring to you charliekirk, and the title of this one is Whiny Black liberal rage quits after faced with reality that white privilege does not exist. This is gonna be a heated one. It's gonna be a banger. I can't wait for us to devour this. If you haven't subscribed, don't want to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe, give us your thumbs up, and without further ado, let's get right into this video.
Nothing that white people can do to stop black people from succeeding in America today. There's no law, there's no legislation, there's no hierarchy. There's nothing that can stop black people from being just as successful as anybody else in America today.
True.
So
do you believe that or not?
So I mean, there's nothing officially on the books that says you're
unofficially.
So let me finish. There's nothing on the books that officially says you're black, you can't do this. What we're existing in today is after generations of systems that excluded black people specifically from access to economics, from infrastructure, from education. Now we're born after generations of that, where people now have access to that and they can meet out who gets it. So we see in all the statistics, black people have access to the lowest numbers of economics. They have the lowest education funding. They have the lowest access to venture capitalists. This doesn't just happen out of nowhere. This happens after generations of literal laws that were met. It was collusion between private businesses and the government to specifically exclude black people from opportunity. We know this in redlining, we know this in gerrymandering, you know this in Jim Crow laws. I mean, we just barely got to actual, I mean, we're still fighting over whether or not we have a proper representation in corporate demographics. I mean, we have DEI and all this, but still look at corporate demographics. It's still white men, vastly the majority of it. Do you think that's because of ability? No.
Yeah, I think
let me finish.
Okay.
It's because of generations of access that were excluded from a certain community and given to a certain community.
So right now,
let me finish.
No.
So now we see in 2025. Look at this. Look at the statistics. Do you think it's a coincidence that the communities that were systematically excluded from these things, again, collusion from private businesses and governments for generations, hundreds of years, we're what? 50, 60 years out of this now. Do you think it's a coincidence that these communities have poor outcomes versus these communities that were given this access?
All right, look, there's no need to even insinuate that there's coincidence at all, because there's actual actionable things that you can see that cause communities to fail. And we know that a lot of it, you gerrymandering and all of the stuff. You could say, what about the two-parent homes?
Thank you.
We had more success. Black people had more growth and success after slavery at an accelerated rate that at this point we would have been growing faster than white people. But at some point, we bought into the propaganda of not pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps, not marrying the women that we have children with, not exploring economic success and having a community of growth and money circulation. And we divvied all that away, and I believe the civil rights movement, and now we're in a desolate place, still hoping and praying that politicians are going to rescue us, and they never will. Black people today, if you go and get an education, you will be successful. I went to a school that was Dunbar High School. You can look it up on your phone. Dunbar High School and Stop 6 right in the hood. How am I successful? Because I got an education. The people from that school that did not do well is the people that did not pursue their education. Now, whether they mama and them helped them, that ain't got nothing to do with me, ain't got nothing to do with white people or nobody else. Unfortunately, they were in an environment like that. But that's a choice by individuals. That's not a system in place.
So, I mean,
and you say coincidentally, I'm trying to find an example of how these communities are failing. You can find correlated things. households that do not succeed are households that are broken. Do you agree?
Yeah, yeah.
How are households broken? I don't think there's a system in place to tell you to get on top of Betsy and hit that and then don't take care of your kids. That's not a system in place that's doing that. A man is making a decision to do that. It's exploited, exacerbated in culture and music by black people that affects black people. And that determines the outcome that we see today. Not Jim Crow, the crack epidemic, all of that stuff is things of the past. And even then, it didn't affect all black people. If you had crack in the community, nobody made you sell that to your brother or your sister. That's a fact. People decided because they wanted quick money. They want quick success. They want a ball. They want to do all this stuff. So they begin to degrade their own people in order to get temporary wealth and success. That damaged the black community. Violence, gang membership. That's the difference. That's one of the big difference between poor blacks and poor whites is you have a level of violence in the inner city communities that don't exist in other places. This is cultural dynamics that we are afraid to address because we rather say it's the white man's fault. It's some system that happened 70 years, 80 years ago, slavery a couple hundred years ago. We go down a list of those things and not addressing the real issues. I grew up in a black community. White people weren't the problem. White people historically wasn't the problem. That community used to be a very successful black community in Stop 6, Fort Worth, Texas. Very successful. Doctors, lawyers. Then what happened? The degeneracy of a generation of blacks began to destroy the community.
Do you really think that's what happened, man? Do you really think?
I think that has a lot more to do with it than Jim Crow and all that stuff. People were like going well, and they're like, let's just be fucked up and fuck this all up. Like, do you really think that? I think they got tricked into it. You don't. They got tricked into it.
You don't think that there was a system?
No. I think they got tricked into it.
That deindustrialized their centers. That tax theft. That they took the taxes from them and gave them to wealthier neighborhoods. Like this is how it happened.
No. I think that
was a tangent. I want to go back to what you were saying before.
I think that
I got 2 points. Wait.
Okay.
So the first thing. So I just want to say first off, I agree that culture absolutely determines outcomes, and I think that a fucked up culture is going to generate fucked up outcomes. So I'm not here to say that there isn't an issue with culture in our community. I mean, this is This is a conversation between you and I as black people, right? Like we get it.
We agree on that.
We understand that there is fucked up things that happen in our community. Absolutely. I think it's both though. You can't divorce the systemic inequality that has been perpetuated on the black community from the outcomes. You can't divorce single-parent households from the war on drugs, which specifically targeted black communities with harsher sentences.
I disagree.
We know this for a fact. We know that black communities were targeted more than white communities were targeted.
disagree.
We know that the administration that started the war on drugs did this. We know this from their advisors. We know this from the people who wrote the plans. They said, we wrote these plans to purposefully impact negatively the black community intentionally. So we know for a fact that this didn't just happen out of a vacuum. Again, like your neighborhood, people didn't just wake up one day and say, let's fuck all this up. No.
What happened is we bought into a system, right? And this is what I think Malcolm X was trying to say way back in Martin Luther King's day. Martin Luther King, in my personal opinion, was a pawn that was used to destroy the black community. Because we did not continue our success and develop economic growth within our own ecosystem. We destroyed that ecosystem to go join an ecosystem that we weren't invited to. And that hurt us tremendously because you can see the growth and success of black people in the 30s and 40s and then 50s, 60s, 70s. You can see the way they voted. Black people voted for Republicans. Black people were conservative Republicans. The first politicians, black politicians were all Republicans.
Yeah. Yeah, but then what happens to Republicans though? Like then they
do some research. Go study something. The parties didn't switch. That's the craziest thing ever. Anyway, so black people
shifted over time. No, they didn't trade places.
They didn't shift.
They didn't trade places.
I'm gonna prove
the party politics didn't shift over time. It's historically false.
I'll prove you that that it didn't shift.
I'm not saying.
So what I'm saying is that the way you generate wealth, and we all know this to be true, is if you have your community pass money within the community. You can look at it today, and it's historically been this case. When black people get successful, where do they move? They move out of the black community. They don't stay and build the black community. They don't circulate their wealth in the black community. They don't buy from black-owned businesses. These are the things that hurt us economically more so than all these other contributing factors. The contributing factors are true. Black people were alienated, black people were ostracized, black people were not allowed to go into certain white spaces for economic success and growth. But that did not deter black people from not supporting black banks. Why didn't we support our own banks? The Jewish people have done it in a this is what Kanye, even though he crazy and he went off the, but this is what Kanye was saying. Look at the Jewish community. Look at how they employ each other. They do business with each other. They make sure that their community eats. Black people, what they did in a pursuit to be like white people or be with white people at a time where white people wanted nothing to do with them, they vacated the opportunity to build a community and build wealth. Look at the black people today.
That's true.
All these billionaires, where do they invest their money? It's not in the black-owned business. Al Sharpton wanted to boycott Target. For what? For 24 hours. What did that do? Nothing. You'll never see Al Sharpton say, every black person send your kid to a HBCU. Why wouldn't he do that? Because he's not going to send his kids to a HBCU. Every black person put your money into a black bank and support black-owned businesses. Why wouldn't Al Sharpton tell people to do that? Because he ain't finna put his money in the black-owned businesses. So what I'm saying is that we have more power to create success in the black community than we are being told. The white man had a contributing factor, but we have done it all, or done a lot of it to ourselves, that white people who have a vested interest to hate blacks don't have to do anything anymore.
I think where you and I would absolutely agree is that there needs to be a focus. Black people need to focus on building our community and strength. I think that integration, what it did was it put us into spaces where we still didn't have access, where the focus should have been on let's make stronger black communities rather than let's dismantle this, right? Because we see clearly it didn't actually do much except for
it hurt us.
Yeah, I believe if integrationists, abolitionists really loved black people, they would have come to shop at their businesses instead of saying, no, close that and come and live in my neighborhood, right? So I agree with you on that. However, I refuse to ever agree that white supremacy hasn't had an impact on us and that racism and that these systems have not had an impact.
I think we agree. It has had an impact. I do not think that to this day, like today, that any of that will stop a black person from succeeding in America. Has it had historical impact? Yes. But let me make this point, because I want everybody to know this. I'm only speaking of black people building the community and all this for black people who believe that they want their own thing. I don't want that. I'm an American. I want all of us to work together. That's what I want. So I don't care that black people don't only use black banks, because I partner with everybody. White people have been a contributing factor of my success more so than black people have ever thought of. So in my opinion, if black people want to complain about not having access and not having generational wealth and all of these things that white people are doing, the argument for them is that you had the opportunity, call it out, that you don't even support your own people.
I just want to say, man, it's not just complaining. There's actually instances in which you say black people pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? What does that mean? That means invest in us, right? So there's actually instances in which
that means that we need to
stop complaining,
assimilate.
Invest in us.
No, we need to assimilate.
Okay.
We need to say, instead of me saying, I'm black, hey, people come shop in my black business, or I need black people to support me. It's like, no, I want everybody to support me.
But would you disagree that black people we need to focus specifically on our community? I mean,
no.
Is that not what you were just saying?
No. I'm saying that's the argument for people who complain.
What we had before was black economy, and
what I'm saying is that what I'm saying that the people who complain about it, the people who are black people so downtrodden, all this stuff. I'm explaining from that perspective. For me, in my life, I feel like that we all need to work together, no matter what color you are.
Yeah.
I think that black people need to assimilate. It's nothing wrong with black people working with white people. There's nothing wrong with black people working with Jewish people. There's nothing wrong with having multicultural people working at your facility as a black man.
I don't think we'd literally, it's literally impossible. We don't have the economics to not be able to assimilate. I mean, obviously we have to be able to build allyships with communities outside of ours. That's just how economics works, right? But the idea that black people are just complaining and we can't. There was a business known as the Fearless Fund. I shared this link I don't know how many times by now. So it was the Fearless Fund, and they were a black woman-owned venture capitalist fund who gave small business grants to specifically black and black women-owned businesses, right? So there's this conservative organization known as Alliance something, I don't know. He's one of the anti-DEI ghouls, right? So he sued them using civil rights era law, anti-discrimination law, stating that what they were doing by focusing on specifically black businesses was racist. So when we're told, and the judges agreed with them. So when we're told pull yourself up by your bootstraps, we see black people doing this, and then they use the federal courts to sue those bootstraps away. Yeah. So obviously, the goal isn't really for black people to become self-sufficient. It's for them to
be an American.
What?
It's to be an American.
Black people have a specific history in this country that has led to them to have these bad outcomes.
No, but
we can't approach the table the same as a white person. If we're coming from here, we can't both approach the table like
no.
Like,
look. You because you think
in order for black people to
you think here,
we have to pay specific attention, because specific attention was paid to the detriment of black people.
But you're saying approaching the table as white people here, black people here. You're assuming white people are here. White people are here.
Look at the statistics.
No, white people are here.
This is a statistical
White people are here. There's white people
that are here, then we're here.
No.
Here, then we're here. This is a statistical reality.
With you,
like, what are you talking?
Just get for you specifically. There are white people that are not as successful as you.
Yes, we're not talking about outliers. We're talking about
not outliers. Not outliars.
Outliers.
Because
if you
we are individuals.
The average white family has more income than the average black family.
And the average white family is married. The average white family have a 2-parent household.
And there are white families that are divorced. You're talking about outliers.
I'm not talking about outliers. I'm talking about generic principles that can help you be successful. So as a black man, you wake up, I don't know, wherever demographic you wake up in, how do you be successful in America? You be successful by doing these things. That's how anybody will be successful.
That's America, not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee.
Nothing is a guarantee for white people.
No guarantee.
It's that if you want to make the best outcome in your life, no matter what color you are, that's why that's why we live in America. If we live somewhere else, I'll be telling you something different. You do these things, you'll be successful.
Okay, so it's not a guarantee for everybody, but it's even less of a guarantee if you're born into a community that has been systematically underfunded and has been systematically deprived. Like, that's the entire point.
The systematic thing
can be hard for everybody.
I will leave the systematic thing out of it. If you're born into a community where your mom and your daddy not together,
you literally can't leave.
If your mom and your daddy not together, if your mom and daddy not together, you grew up in that community, that's more difficult for you.
Okay, if your mom and dad aren't together because the government specifically
and the government ain't none of your mom and daddy.
All right, man. So
it's a choice.
So if they're not together because your father got caught up in the war on drugs,
because he was he ain't caught up in war on drugs. He was selling drugs.
He was selling drugs because he
made a decision to do that.
Other black people had
because he was born into a neighborhood where his school.
That's not, bro. That's not.
That's literally how it happens.
That's not realistic.
That is realistic. That's how it happens. What are you talking about?
No. Why didn't I sell? What'd you say?
People don't sell drugs for fun.
Oh, what community you live in? What community you live in where people sold drugs?
None currently.
Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. So in the community
Wait, hold on, but where do you live? Is it poor? Is it middle class? Is it
upper middle? But
right.
Still,
so people don't sell drugs where he lives because
they do sell drugs.
Because
they do sell drugs. They do sell drugs.
Okay, but are people being arrested?
No. Let's
hold on. So
guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate. So we have Officer Tantum, and trust me, his points of view are very valid. Now, it is very tough when you're being raised by a single parent. I am a big flex of family, and I love when people are family oriented. It is toxic, it's rough, it's hard, it's tough. When someone is being raised by single parenting is a no. It has a way of affecting the society in a negative way. I kid you not. And the funny thing is that Africans, you see a lot of single parenting Africans. I don't know, Africans these days embrace single parenting. Most of all the single parenting broken homes, most of them are being orchestrated. They are being, you can mostly see them from in an African setting. So his points of view, are very, very valid. The guy talked about the white people and the black people. There are some black people that are doing very well in America, honestly speaking, and there are some white people that are actually doing very well. And I kid you not, there are some black people that are doing well than the white people, and there are still some white people that are dropouts. So some white people that are dropouts from schools and the rest of it, you can still see most of them. So you can't keep blaming it on the government. You can't continue to blame it on the government. You can't continue to ask for reparation. Black people is not the only people that have been enslaved. A lot of people have been enslaved in so many ways. So most times when people come up with a narrative and they want to act the victim game, it's not right. Honestly, it's not right. So if anyone feels like you're being treated fairly, you can change country. I don't like it when people try to give excuses all the time. If you feel you're being treated fairly, you can change country. You can leave America. The white people, there are some white people that are not doing well as well. And there are some black people that are not doing well. And there are some white people that are doing very well. There are some black people that are doing well. This is all about mindset and mentality. We should stop giving excuses and asking for reparation and trying to, throw excuses and acting like the victim game. It's not going to lead us anywhere. I really don't have much to say based on this particular one, but I need your comments in the comment section below. Trust me, I can't be the only one to react. Most times I need us to share ideas and share your ideas, share your thoughts, share your opinion, share your perception in the comment section below. I'll be right there reading and interacting with you guys, right? So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, be able to hit the subscribe button, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.